2 in favour of Wales. Now we will hand you over to the capable hands of our casters for the first series of the day. It's going to be Brillman and Mabinogi. Take it away.
Thank you very much, and hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on the Summoner's Rift as our top laners just dance away.
This is fantastic. I'm used to dance parties, used to emote parties. Never have I seen the merry-go-round. And honestly, the amount of coordination required to not accidentally click on the other person and upset the balance. Huge mechanical display coming from our top laners. You love to see it.
Absolutely so. But let's actually take a look at the drop, because Analyst Desk has been very, very, let's say, hostile towards that first pick of Silas. And I'd like to do a little bit of follow-up on that, because it's something that baffles me actually a little bit as well, and I would really love to hear your thoughts about it.
So I think Silas is, while I'm not necessarily a huge fan of it as the first pick on the B1, especially when things like Siva are available, I think it's absolutely fantastic early. In theory, you soft shut out the Knight. People don't really want to pick that into Silas. It doesn't have the best counters. It has a little bit of a soft counter in Talia, but that was already banned. So I think taking it early is absolutely fine. I would have taken Siva over on the B1 position, but I understand it. It's a fantastic mid laner. It's one of the best on the patch. It's one of the best right now. And if Playcool can put up the numbers on it, can make it absolutely work. It's also a fantastic takeaway from Glory. So can't complain too much.
The only question that raises sort of in my head is relatively simple. So when you pick away Silas pretty much in the early, you give an opportunity to the enemy team to try and dance around the fact that you don't want to give a lot of very, very powerful ultimates. And if you look all across the map, then, I mean, yes, there is Devour, which can be really important, but not maybe that much important. And outside of that, you only have Spirit Rush and the Heartbreaker, right? There's no these big game-changing ultimates that you normally see Silas getting picked in, for example, Nars ultimate or something like that. So let's say the team fighting potential of SAE with that Silas sort of diminishes in my eyes.
Yeah, and that might also somewhat explain as, hold on, there's going to be a gank top.
I think the Ignite has been burnt by that Grenadier. Now running away. Here comes Arya onto him, and that should be pretty much an easy kill, unless the dash away is going to save him. Who actually decides to let her go, as Killer Queen now steps forward to might see a bit of a skirmish. But no, nothing is going to happen. In the meantime, action on the bot lane, actually. Ooh, flash throw from Uzi gets for a first blood, even on Ariete, and now CBR has to walk away from the corpse of his teammate.
And that early level 3, picking up that advantage of the bot side and just jumping on top of Ariete, like the passive laning of Alistar's weak.
Killer Queen is back, looking for a Spectrum or hack and slash, and the last door to nail that down.
Yeah, really only the downside there is nothing for Nagia, but yeah, we see here, early level 3, and the all-in potential of the Alistar is still absolutely insane. Times out the spell shield as well, so no real bonus health coming in, and just well played. Did not respect the all-in potential of this duo, which, yeah, it's insane. Like, yes, as I was saying, Alistar's passive laning is pretty pathetic. He can't really put out much pressure outside that threat of all-in, but if he goes for it, he's very good at it.
Something our analyst desk has been talking about, and of course Uzi has been such of a important player for the team, and grabbing that first early blood feels like a very important milestone for SE to try and spin this around the bot lane, try to accelerate Uzi as much as possible and let him sort of lead the way to the victory in that first game of the series.
Yeah, not expecting particularly great pressure across the rest of the map, especially through this mid lane. Glory zoning as much experience away from Playcool as possible. Currently has that level advantage, wants to get 6 well before the Silas can. And if you expect that, kill on the jungle is already as well. This mid jungle should be able to have such good influence on the map, so you want to get as much early advantages as you can in the 2v2 before they start coming down to bot lanes, before they start making your life a living hell on the Zeri. And hey, getting a first kill is fantastic.
And now we're approaching the mark when the first dragon is already up and running. Herald is coming up actually in quite a little bit of time too. And I'm wondering which of the teams is going to actually go for it as soon as possible. Because we know that ASE love us of taking those first heralds. Right? They do like to try and go for it. While, well, might need to hold that thought here as we might have some bit of an action here in the top lane. Fire now goes over the wall with the blast gun and just immediately jumps out of it.
I'm not sure if it's Killer Queen reading where Hyo is going, or just in general they want to play through this top side, because Hyo is waiting for that play. Riverbush has had this ward for ages. He's keeping it warded. He seems like they know Hyo wants to be on this top side, and just Killer Queen always in
Need
position.
to work
Here comes
with an ignite to onto him. That's a very quick kill. No real problem here, as Hyo will be forced away too by the snippety snip.
and picking up the gameplay. Oh, no. You use the trial by fire on the tower. Might as well. Oh, no. Anyway, yeah, just easily walking through, getting a kill 2v2 in the face of Hyo, who can't do anything. And we're starting to see a little bit of a repeat of their first series, where it's just Killer Queen walking into Hyo's face, and Hyo just cannot get anything done. Now, right now, he has a little bit of backup from Playcool, but Laurie should be at least aware, have the forethought to continue his back, as Hello's in on the roam.
So with Team Wales now taking so much control over the top side, do we expect them to try and roam towards that Herald and try to take it as soon as possible and then accelerate either Nagia or maybe Glory in the mid lane?
So, I mean, I definitely think CBL should. I feel with Sivir, I like to see Sivir sort of hover around close to that tower, because her shove is so incredible that she can just push out the wave, stop any counterbalance on that bot side, and if ASE decides to commit their entire team, she can make sure that wave crashes up quickly and start taking down the tower plates by herself. So CBL definitely get up to that top side as fast when the time comes. I don't necessarily think you should be moving to Sivir though, unless you are really looking to secure that and potentially look for a baited fight.
Well, as we can see, pretty much as you predicted, here comes a CBL. Now goes towards that top side, and again now has full control over the lane, as we'll pick up the 2 turret plates for him as well. So that's a kill, turret plates, and a pretty much of a hefty lead in terms of CS on the lane too. So fair to say Team Wales have full control over that top side. Interested if they are actually going to try to pull the trigger onto that Herald, but feels like a natural thing to do in that sort of an environment.
Yeah, there's still a while for Ozzy to come in. Hello.
Ariadne now.
Zen
It's a
can't
bit
follow.
of multiples, but it's fine.
Yeah, Zen a bit too far away to really follow up on it, so bit of pressure, a plate taken, but overall, this top side, this Herald should be pretty much free unless Hyo goes in for a steal, but they're still keeping CBL here. They are not really wanting to risk anything towards that, so it's going to be a bit of pressure for Uzi. He's going to be able to extend his lead against Ariadne a little bit more. The dive threat coming in from Zen, just walking up there and looking nasty, because that spell shield is it's kind of plays counterintuitive into the Alistar, because if you drop it down, it blocks the W, but then the Q still goes through. And so Alistar coming in as a bit of a classic Sivir counter. We might see a lot more of this, as the VCS has trended to love the cow. But a little bit of pressure back from Uzi, gets a plate. Might have gotten a second one, I'm not quite sure. Yep. But you trade for the Rift Herald. Standard trade, pretty much.
We see Uzi now pretty much accelerating himself. He did get those 2 turret plates. Oh, in the meantime, okay, the Spirit Heart has been stolen away from Glory now. They're chasing him down. The charm is going to connect, but the knockup, I think, connected too. But it's all too easy for an RE to get away from that situation.
Yeah, holds the Spirit Rush as long as he can, and didn't really need to use it all that much. So now he's just going to keep pressuring it out. But Zin is still lurking, so they're going to bring up CBL just to make sure, just to cover. He's down a lot in that experience. Palmer's still waiting on that level 6, but should be able to grab it pretty soon off this wave in mid, but maybe not. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. So, with that being said, 10 minutes into the game, Team Wales find themselves in just a little bit of a lead. It's 1.2 approximately 1,000 gold coins on the side of Wales. They do have that Herald still sitting in their hands, and they might just drop it here in the top lane to make it a bit better. Or maybe not, depends. In the meantime, AC decide to make a bit of a crossbar play. They take away the first dragon of the game, which is the Infernal Drake. Pretty much of a good one to have in that early, but in the meantime, the gear just gets himself.
LLT. Okay. I feel like... So Killer Queen was trying to wait for LLT to come up and maybe try and take a kill alongside it, but I definitely think that they just got caught in two minds. They could have either taken off that tower and just gotten straight back onto the map, try and keep pushing the tempo, keep it up, but in the end, they sort of do a lot of nothing. They get some more plates onto the gear, but they don't really need it. Extending the laning phase to me is not bad, definitely a decent play. Trying to keep that game playing under pressure as by the Gwen is good to me. Drop the Rift Herald maybe bot lane to try and bring the Sivir back into it. But yeah, I feel like they're a little bit in two minds. They're not quite sure if they want to press the tempo down and keep the pressure on, or try and extend it and keep getting the natural advantages they seem to be getting.
And now Wales are really trying to assert dominance on the map, I would say, right? Because the top side now has been fully under control of theirs. Yes, Ariati has been falling behind, and you can see that Uzi already completed his Immortal Shield Bow, therefore he is pretty much in lead. Yes, the Kraken Slayer just now coming through for Ariati as well, but it feels just a bit more better for Wales, and this series is quite important for them because you can't afford dropping any games at this point. You can't afford dropping any Sirius. And now, Charm connecting through on here as Herald bashes his head and his claws into that turret. A bit of an extra money, which puts Wales into a bit of a more lead, but not that drastic yet. AC are still pretty much with chances to bounce back.
Yeah, so they've decided to go for the team play, by which they mean put the gold into Glory, who is the most of the team. And now,
Zin now coming through. Uzi taking up as well. Here comes Playco and Glory. That's pretty much of a team fight coming in up here, as CBO is not going to make it away, even with the Abyssal Voyage. And now Ariati stepping forward, who tries to go for a confirm. Glory in the meantime gets in, but there's no more Spirit Rush for that Ari to get through. In the meantime, Killer Queen gets the reset, goes onto Uzi. That's a kill as well. Team Wales are just asserting dominance with that team fight as Killer Queen frames it away. Chain's not connecting. Playco might regret that, though, because there's a lot of damage already. Glory now goes forwards. Last turret shot didn't get the kill, but Eo with the kill confirmed onto Glory. Killer Queen runs away, goes for the heals, tries to go closer to his teammate, as Hero will not chase him down.
Killer Queen pushed a little bit too far. A little bit of misdirection coming in. They weren't quite sure where they were going. Ariati completely backed off. Killer Queen ended up abandoning Glory because he just took too many tower shots without reset, trying to, I guess, Heartbreak Rune and reset on top of the Sylas. And as we look into again, Zin goes in very early, but he's so tanky on this Alistar, it doesn't matter. They get the first kill, but then Ariati can join on the other side. He's late, a little bit late, but the damage has been done, so he can clean it up nicely. Follow up from Zin. This Flash Charm is beautiful to secure the two for one. Then they just overreach a little bit. Killer Queen wants to try and chip down Playcool's health, and if they combine the Glory going in with Killer Queen's ultimate, maybe they can get it. But the flash away, they split up, and that lets the isolated damage from Kill come in and steal that kill over. So overall, 2 for 2 and a plate for Ariati, I suppose.
Team Wales have been having quite a hard schedule to play with, right? So we might actually see a moment where we see Team Wales play against themselves really as they overstep here, because they have been winning that trade, but they decided to continue to chase with Killer Queen with Glory. Therefore, SES were able to pick up a few kills and try to make that trade even. Yes, Wales are pretty much ahead in terms of gold, but we've seen even bigger goal leads being thrown away, really, right? So I think that as well, you need to keep it a little bit more calm. Just try to work what you've got. You've got the best out of the situation. Maybe it's better to actually retreat and not try to push for more kills here.
Yeah, if you're going for a dive, you need to be really decisive on a play like that. These things just do so much damage. You have to go all in. You can't sort of faff around on the edges, but they're going to get an uncontested second Herald. They can easily use this to break open that mid lane tower and then start pressuring into the jungles with ease and take over in control of vision, which should be good to shut out like Hyo if they remove the angles for Xin and the Kazakhs to come in and affect them on the bushes and go for these flanks. They're going to end up trading it for a dragon, but at this point, dragon's still not really worth all that much. The buffs haven't come in. More than happy to trade these first two. Don't think they'll be able to find anything off this. Killer Queen, calm down.
Just stepping forward, takes a bit of chip damage here.
Calm down, mate.
And it feels like he really wants to commit into this tower dive. Even you can see even Nagir actually coming here too. And Uzi now underneath the turret. Xin is lurking in the bushes as Hyo clears his jungle. But there's so many members of Team Wales now going onto Hyo. He's going to jump away immediately. And the bot lane of VCS recognizing the situation. Uzi tries to step out of it. Xin now tries to provide as much time as needed. But Glory in the meantime with the flank maneuver onto Uzi. This shield is not going to save you, mate. 2 kills now for Wales as they continue to push forward. Playcool now stepping forward as well. But Killer Queen finds another flank maneuver by Wales. And they get even more. What's a great trade and play for them.
Yeah, they managed to take the mid lane tower on their own, so drop it bot lane. And from there, not much they could do. A slow response. LLT, nowhere to be seen. He's not coming to join. He's coming to try and get as much gold back as he can. Try and get ahead to his Trinity Force. He's so far behind. It's just, this poor Gangplank has not been able to print enough money. And from here, they chase out Hyo very, very quickly. And then Xin, he tries to buy as much time as he can. They try so hard to knock down Killer Queen, but Xin cannot stand up to the true damage of the Gwen. This gives Killer Queen the resets to chase through, cut down Uzi, jump across this wall and finish off Playcool. And then it ends up 3 for nothing, pick up 2 towers along the process, and such a huge play for Team Wales. The gold has just exploded to 5k.
Just such a massive lead now for Wales. And I feel like AC have their eyes to set up on Uzi right now. There's a bit of gold being funneled into him. He has picked up 3 or 4, I believe, turret blades on the bot lane. He has picked up that first blood. He is probably the wealthiest man on his team at the given point, as Hyo is going to be chased down. It's just so painful to watch for him. Gold Drink is going to keep him alive just for a little bit, as Playcool will spirit rush his way away from Wales. They're just taking everything on the map at this point.
Yeah, already losing a little bit in the 1v1. It's Playcool. He's still got more spirit rushes, so he'll be fine. And yeah, they just run it down. They just run straight at the Kazakhs, and there's nothing he can do. He's a slippery fella, but he just cannot get away from the mid jungle. And that's pretty much just a free pick. Nothing for them to take. The waves are shoved out for Wales. No objectives on the map. Nothing to cross map with, and just absolute control, just free gold in the pockets.
It feels like we are seeing that exact story now getting its way basically on the Rift, because that just so much of a strong combo of Killer Queen and Glory, but not just being the strong combo by itself, but also paired up with pretty much amazing champions to try and make the job done, right? Because Ari had so much big potential, so much way of actually going into those team fights, and then Diego pretty much influencing the map so heavily at this point and going for it even again just with his sheer presence.
Yeah, Killer Queen completely alone. But if you really want a oh my god, look at the difference. 2k gold difference in the top lane alone, just absolutely insane. About the same in mid, just absolute dominance coming out from the side of Team Wales. I was gonna say, if you want a symbol of that, you can check Nagir's item build. By this point, he probably has finished his second item, but he didn't rush his mythic first. He rushed that Shadow Flame because he was so far ahead. He could just sit on the Leeching Leer, and he's like, no, I don't need the full item. I need more damage. And he built more damage, and it's worked out for him. He's 2-0-2. Hasn't been involved with too much, because too much has been happening on the other side of the map for him, but hey, when he's been there, he has made it work.
And it just seems that everything works now for Wales. Charm is not going to connect, though. A little bit of a whiff here. In the meantime, Killer Queen on the flank maneuver, but he's underneath the turret. Zen is going to push him away as Devour will save him for the time being. Uzi now stepping forward, but Nagia is here to try and stop them from doing that. In the meantime, Playcool tries to bring down Glory. Now Uzi in a bit of a misposition. We see Fight just breaking out all across the rift now. Playcool got his first kill, and he's really deep into the enemy backlane. Gets the Civet, so Killer Queen down. Wales finally overstepped it, and AC are pretty happy to capitalize on it.
Just a pretty big major flub coming up from Glory and Killer Queen, just not being able to make it really work, and the timing on that is impeccable for ASE. They're going to be able to bring themselves up to Soul Point. The gold is still 5.6k away, so it's not necessarily going to win them the game, but it gives them a condition. If they can secure this next dragon, and this predicting the jump, I can only assume, but it looks silly. He ends up whiffing it. He's on the complete wrong side and just gets chased out by Playcool here. Killer Queen's just way too deep, has to blow everything to get away, tries to come down to save Glory, and then just gets ignored by the stolen Heartbreaker, who just over the top, keeps going. 2 kills for Playcool. Silas is absolutely monstrous. Even when he's behind, he's still able to do things like this. This is why he's first pickable.
I feel like Uzi right now is just really playing on the net of an inch of a knife here, really. He was pretty much going to a fist fight with Nagia, and I believe he might have predicted the fact that he's not going to win that fist fight, but just denying Gwen that opportunity, that pouring into the team fight pretty much allows ACE to go forward, step forward. Don't be afraid of the fact that there's going to be true damage flying your way, because Uzi is trying to deal with her.
Yeah, pretty much using herself to bait away the Gwen. Like, Gwen walked in, did a pretty hefty amount of damage with, I think, 1Q, 1 needlework, and then just spent the rest of the time trying to kill the Zeri in the 1v1. So that was it. Like, she did a huge amount of AoE damage, and if she'd stuck around, it could have been a complete wipeout, but Uzi drags her away, and yeah, ends up being a positive trade overall. Back to the siege though. Wales still good at that, going to take this tower for free, and eventually they're going to turn back onto the Baron, but probably just going to wait for the top wave to be a little bit in order.
Yes. Really, it's been propped. Also, the cannon barrage into variety now is in. Is there? Double knockup even finds as well. Playco now in the midst of it all. Devour's going to save Siva for the time being, but Nagia is getting chunked away quite hefty. Needlework, though, is just so huge, and it seems like it's going to be the way back for Wales into this team fight. Resets have been found. LLT is not going to be able to kill anybody away here, and ACE, they found a good angle onto the Gwen, but that is the only thing they're going to find as the charm connects. Arietti's going to take that kill, and it looks like TV have their sights set upon this Baron.
Yeah, it looks like it. Quick resets come through, and this fight started as a 4v5, and they couldn't quite get it done. The needleworks coming up from both sides, just ripping through. The Shirelius comes in. It's a good double knockup, but in the end, you dump everything onto the Siva right next to a Tom Kench. It's just not going to work out well for you. But both Needleworks doing so much damage, and then Glory arrives, and the mid-jungle duo once again can clean up on the bot side while Silas gets dealt with by the 3 in the top.
ACE are really trying to find their way into this team fight. You gotta give them credit to that, right? Because even though they're falling behind quite significantly and have been pretty much of the most of the game, really, as the gold lead just continues to grow proportionally, I would even say. Now it's 8k, right? But you gotta hand it to them, to the ACE, as they're really, really doing their best in finding those angles into the team fight, finding those angles, how to catch Wales in some sort of a misposition that Glory and Killer Queen are occasionally doing in this game.
Yeah, Playful's been playing out of his mind right now. He's doing so much damage. He wasn't able to really convert it too much, trading 1-for-1 realistically in his scrapping his battle fight. But he is trying his absolute best to find things, make things happen. But it's not quite happening on the rest of the map. The top jungle kind of feeling very ineffective. Uzi has been targeted and been shut out for a lot of this game. So just he's feeling like a one-man army, and the rest, he can't quite have the team put it together. And now it's onto the Baron. The siege as we mentioned, it's pretty good. It's a bit short range from the side of Team Wales, but the shove is strong. They can just keep crashing these waves over and over again. These towers, if ASE don't do anything, are not going to be long for the world.
Bot lane already took quite a bit of damage. Playco tried to defend the lure as much as he could, but not happening for the time being as those minions just continue to pour in. Killer Queen is going to join him as well. But SE are still holding their ground. You can see that the trades are pretty hefty. Killer Queen has now to go and reset because otherwise he might have been even picked away. And it seems like AC were able to withstand that. Yes, there's 1 more minute on the clock. There's still Nagi and there's still Ariete pushing forward. But it feels like the worst is pretty much behind you.
Yeah, they're gonna get a bit of a reprieve. So
Relius onto him, even flash forward and knocks him back. Now he's just pretty much locked up in here. Everything dumped into this kitchen sink to get that Gwen away. Uzi takes the kill and it just feels so much important that he did.
Yeah, big shutdown onto Uzi is absolutely what you need. Going to be traded for a dragon, which you are pretty much going to lose anyway. It's fine. That's the 5 minutes. You bought yourself a long time before this Ocean Soul sort of becomes something for Team Wales to think about. So, you know, that's not really going to be a win condition on the board, but getting more gold is definitely something ASE wants to do. Now, back at it with the Baron Waves. Can just cut through this tower. Oh, he has to be a bit careful.
Oop, he's actually going really, really low. Lightning Clash is going to be used to, but on Ariete now. In the meantime, Clickwind is having a little bit of a fight here with Hio. Zin is going to knock him back away. And it seems like AC are still holding their ground. Glory now steps in forward, flash away from the charm, predicting it, but so much damage already.
Ow.
One to Killer Queen now, Blako in the midst of it all. And Nagi is just a bit too late for the party. I see you now proccing Shirelius. Just look at the damage of that Severe! Or not, Zeri rather. Playco now stepping forward, goes goals, and that's the shot down as well. AC found the team fight and a clean ace almost on top of it all. And CBL are just running away.
They couldn't land anything, and then the clapback is so damn big. You see, Glory tries for it, but he ends up eating so much from this extendo beam, and then Playcool from the flank. Killer Queen is also 1v4 in the backside. Just this team fight, the lines are not drawn, and then these lasers are just so much, and the Spirit Rush to get Playcool into the back line. Great plays from Zin as well. Just it's basically all the cards falling perfectly for the side of ASE, and Team Wales, they couldn't land anything, they couldn't put it together, and they just kept eating so much laser damage that, it all falls apart. It shouldn't be super repeatable, but picking up that fight, picking up 2 towers with the objective bounties, I believe. Anyway, it brings the gold back to less than 3k, so that's huge.
So yeah, basically bouncing back at this point. And I've got to be honest with you, Mab. I'm not going to lie. I am fully convinced now with the first pick of Silas. I'm not going to lie. I'm fully convinced.
It's such a strong pick, even without, like, the super fantastic ult. It's like the Ahri is kind of picked into it because you have a decent lane, and the Spirit Rush isn't that impactful on Silas, but it means he can cross a lot of distance and get into the back line, so hey, Silas will absolutely take that, and Baron is coming up in a minute, so that's the next focus. Battle line should be a little bit cleaner for the side of Wales, you would expect coming into it. We see Nagia walking his way up to this top side now, so should not be quite as repeatable, but you have to watch out for those lasers. They just hit so damn hard.
It's so hard to play against Zeri, right? Especially in that terrain when you are trying to go for the Baron, because you can just constantly poke your opponent with that laser, make their life miserable, and force either a reset or a very advantageous team fight for yourself.
So Boomerang Blade is meant to be an absolutely disgusting poke tool, especially now it scales with crit. Ultra Shock Laser does basically the exact same thing, but it's a longer range, it's a little bit safer. Plus the hitbox lies quite a lot in my experience. The animation just does not line up. So it's very threatening. And right there, going to take a chunk out of CBL, but here comes Shirelius
again. And the cannon barrage is going to be proc 2. CBL instantly flashing away, though, as Gwen is going to be knocked up in the air. That's a Zhonya's used to. Glory tries to go for a backline access, but he can't run the time. Being Xin, though, so bloody tanky. That's a exchange of kills here. Now jumps away. Play cool has been picked up, and it's a click for Team Wales. They know they can get back at it, and they're doing exactly that. They're going to pick away Uzi, but he's still fighting for his dear life. Gets the kill here, now he's going to pick up onto that Gwen, and even without play coup, AC are just back in the game like that.
That's it. That's going to be the game. The death timers are just too long. The damage is too good. And right now we just saw Ariadne didn't auto attack until the fight was half over. Killer Queen dies instantly. No resets for him, and they could not finish off this Zeri. That is it. That is going to be a win from ASE. Hard fought, but they take it.
What a beautiful display from SE, just holding for their dear lives as long as they could, and it pretty much worked out.